my name is Kyle Ainsworth. I'm the Special Collections Librarian at Stephen F. Austin State University in Nacogdoches, Texas. Today I'm going to be talking about the Regional Historical Resource Depository System in Texas. This is a statewide program for counties to store their inactive county records. And so we're just going to run through it pretty quickly. And if there's any questions at the end, please feel free to ask. The Regional Historical Resource Depository Program is a state program created in the 1970s. It's mandated by state code. It was legislatively created. Started in the 1970s. The purpose is to collect inactive county records. The transfer of records is voluntary, so that's important to know, and it's permanent. So anything that a county transfers to one of these RHRDs is they do not get to get it back after any period of time. And the materials are not loaning, so you can't interlibrary loan them like you can some things, non-circulating. There are 23 depositories in the state of Texas. Each one signs an agreement with the state archives that the records that they preserve and make accessible will be accessible to the public. There'll be a finding aid or an index. That it will be under lock and key, and the records will be in a climate-controlled facility. And you can check out all these details with the link below. It is important to know that a lot of the depositories are not particularly active, and this can be because they have their own issues, whether it's space or staffing or funding. The depositories do not get state funding to accept these records, so some are not very active because they don't have the ability to be active. It is important to note, though, that even if an RHRD doesn't have many original records, you should still check out to see what county records they have on microfilm. And the index below is great. I interlibrary loan stuff from RHRDs all across the state for my slavery research. So you can usually get stuff for a couple of weeks, deed records, probate records, tax records, so that, yeah, even if you can't get to that county to look at those county records, you might be able to interlibrary loan them. Our archives, it's important to note that when we get records transferred, so like we got some stuff from St. Augustine County in this past July, we're still organizing it and getting it prepared, and there's not a publicly available index for it yet. We got 500 ledgers, so it can take several weeks or more to get things properly organized. Researchers still have access to it, but it may be a little bit more difficult for them to use because we don't have a very good inventory of it ourselves. It's also important to note, like for us, these collections are very massive collections. We have almost 700 collections in our archives, but just the 12 RHRD collections that we have take up 20% of that space. So there is a lot of content, a lot of records, a lot of utility for these collections. So depository details. When we get these records, we're not just leaving them as we receive them. We are making changes. Most of the records that come to us are not in archival folders, and they're not maybe indexed. So especially with case files, district and county court records, we'll have students and volunteers rehouse them and index them. Staff, myself primarily, quality control their work, and then any sort of more advanced projects I will take care of. So, and then anytime a researcher comes to visit, we'll use our kind of institutional memory from helping a lot of different researchers to help them get the best use out of the county records they possibly can. There is an official workflow to all of this. typically the county clerk or district clerk contacts us. We go and pick up the records and prepare an inventory for them. This is a very basic copy of what an inventory could look like, giving the type of record, the inclusive dates, the quantity, and how much space it actually takes up. This shows you all the 23 depositories. You'll see a bunch in gray. That means they don't have a depository. And so by default, their stuff will end up, if they wish to transfer it anywhere, at the state archives in Austin. We are over in East Texas in this kind of reddish section. So we cover 8 counties. You can see some RHRDs are massive. The one in kind of violet violet in the middle, purple is the counties are hours away from each other. So some RHRDs are much bigger or much smaller. Dallas County has its own. The Dallas Public Library is just for that. Obviously, Dallas would generate a lot of county records. So here's a closer look at East Texas. So for our 8 counties, we work really closely with 4 of them. Angelina, Nacogdoches, San Augustine, and Sabine. And then the 4 counties to our north, Cherokee, Rusk, Panola, and Shelby, not quite so much. And there's a lot of factors that go into that. Just maybe they haven't heard of the program, or maybe the records are very well taken care of where they are, or maybe there's just not interest. You can't. It's kind of hit or miss, but I will say, like, for those 4 counties that we do work with, we have a lot of records for all of them. So why do counties participate? There's regular public access. We're open 5 days a week. We have the security, the climate control. The county doesn't incur any costs for all the supplies and time and effort, student workers, the labor that we put into it. All our stuff is indexed online, and then the county can, maybe repurpose their resources to not have to take care of these county records, and that can be just the maintenance, the storage space. Those counties have very limited budgets oftentimes, and especially in our rural East Texas area, so that can be a big savings to them. And then also being able to focus on their civil and criminal and tax duties that they have on a daily or monthly or yearly basis. So helping genealogists and landmen might not be the top priority for them, but it is our top priority. So us having these county records allows the people that might want to use these inactive county records to get the best possible reference help that they can. As I mentioned, in our RHRD area, there's 4 counties that don't participate. And so it's not a slight. There's many good reasons why a county might not participate. Maybe they already have the facilities. A lot of counties set their offices up in old banks and other multi-purpose spaces. Maybe they want their records to be closer to their constituency. So they want the records to be available to people in their county and not have to have those people travel to Nacogdoches, which could be an hour or more away. It could be a trust thing. It's like, well, we don't know. We don't have to build a relationship with somebody sometimes. And then are the political calculations. All the county offices are elected positions, so it could be something if you transfer your records to, or a county transfers the records to SFA, that a political opponent could say, "Hey, I disagree with this," and it becomes something that they can that can be a rationale against maybe re-election or something like that. This slide is just to show you that we are very active. And have been since the early 1980s, more active since the turn of the century. I mean, even we got stuff from Nacogdoches County, county clerk, about 3 weeks ago. So records are being transferred fairly consistently. That just goes to show, I think, that the relationships that I'm able to build with some of the clerks and other county employees, that they see value in what we're doing, and we really appreciate their trust in us. So these are just some FAQs to give people ideas for questions to ask. I will say that we do have Family Search is here, and they are digitizing a bunch of the county records that we do have. Not all of them; they're selective, and so those records will be available on Family Search at some time, probably in the next couple of years. Major project. I've been here since 2024. Multiple scanners. I would assume millions of pages. So it will take them some time to organize it, but they have got records from those 4 counties that I mentioned: Angelina, Nacogdoches, Sabine, and St. Augustine counties. And then I would say too that we do prefer people make an appointment, so that we can help you. You can give us what you're looking for, and we can help you find. We can pull the records that you want, and then maybe provide some kind of value added research assistance as we think about what your question is and other resources that we might have that would be useful to you. These are just a couple pictures to give you a sense, again, on volume. Like the one in the top right-hand corner, that was the mowing garage, and those books are stacked 20, 25 high. Honestly, the records on the top were the newer records. Some of the oldest stuff from the 1840s and 1850s was on the bottom. Those were deed records. And then the bottom picture shows when we got them into our facility. So, a lot of volume. We do get in the top left that shows those are district court criminal cases. You can tell by the red envelope. And so in that case, a much younger me is putting them into archival boxes to transfer to our RHRD. In St. Augustine, before, this is now a museum actually, but before this was an old jail. This is where they kept a lot of their old district court county records. And so the stuff was not in very good shape. So two good examples of why counties might want to transfer their records to an RHRD is, they just couldn't really afford a higher end type of storage. And then this is just our contact information. I'm the primary person working on county records here, but all 3 of us do work with patrons and have a good working knowledge of how to find things and help researchers. So the best way to get a hold of us is to email asketrc@sfasu.edu. That way, if one of us is traveling or on sick or what have you, you'll get somebody that will be available to help you. So without further ado, if there are any questions, please ask away.
Hey, Kyle, it's James again.
Yep.
What's the scope of the records you get? You obviously are getting deed records and you're getting, probate records and some of the civil and county district court records, but what's kind of the scope of the records a county gives you, and are there records they are not allowed to give you?
Okay, yeah, so the scope of our records, it depends on the age of the county, but we're getting stuff. The earliest stuff we've received is from the 1820s, from Nacogdoches County, all the way up to, we have some stuff from 2025 from the county clerk in Nacogdoches County. So from a date range, it really runs the gamut. Predominantly, it's going to be 19th century records, early 20th century records. It's what you might expect, deed and probate records, but then also, like, we have scholastic census records. We have all sorts of different types of minute books, docket books, fee books, some things more useful than others. We also get materials from the areas you might not expect. So, like, we get a lot of records from the tax assessor, the different tax roll books. We get materials sometimes from the city. So we have, like, for instance, City of Nacogdoches records. And then I would say, so there are some records that we don't have, or if we do get them, we have to return them to the county, and that's records having to do with kids. So any juvenile court records, we have to return. Anything having to do with adoptions, we have to return. And then anything having to do with mental health. So there's probate lunacy and other records having to do with that we are not supposed to be making available to the public. So there is some discretionary type stuff. I'll also say, for instance, it's a much more contemporary development, but people would have their social security numbers on things. So we do some redacting and things of that nature if those records show up in court cases.
So do you get birth and death records, or?
It depends. So like for Angelina County, we have some birth and death records, but then like for Nacogdoches County, the county requested that stuff be returned to them as a vital record. And in that case, even though we generally don't return records, we did in that case because that's usually where those records are kept. It's very common, especially in these bigger record transfers. As I mentioned, we got 500 ledgers from St. Augustine County in July 2025. That in a big transfer like that, they don't have a good inventory of actually what they're giving us. And so there are things that we get that we're going to need to give back to them because
So when you're doing your intake, you find, adoption records, or you find those things, you're cycling those back as you find them.
Yeah, I have a little area in our closed stacks where I've got a box of stuff I need to take back to the district clerk in St. Augustine or in Sabine County whenever I get back over there, because the records are not supposed to be public records.
You said you get scholastic records. These are the old school,
Yeah, so
records where they show who the parents are and they show who their brothers and sisters are and so forth.
Yeah, no, I mean the Scholastic census records are not used that often, but they're fantastic stuff because you can use them if you need a birth certificate or a passport. That like they're kind of those vital records. We have them from 1917 until 1970 for Nacogdoches County. Really great too because they're
awesome.
They're color coded by race. What's that?
They're awesome records when you find them.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. I will say our most frequent constituent, if you will, is our landmen, especially in East Texas doing oil and gas research. So
absolutely.
Yeah.